how to go from couch to 5K. Now, the best way I can tell you how to do this is tell you my own experience. I ran a lot as a kid on the football field. I was desperate to be a footballer, my whole childhood felt like winter football, summer cricket, and that's how I stayed out of trouble. And then when I did my first cross-country race, which was like the school trials to get on the team, I won the race basically because none of us, out of 180 kids, none of us had ever ran before, had ever put any running training together, had ever tried to pace a race. And so the endurance base that I'd built up on the sports fields of rugby, cricket, and anything else that was thrown my way, I used that in order to win the race. And then I entered this positive feedback loop, which was I was winning and then getting praise from my teachers and parents, and then that would kind of like follow, and I'd want to win more and then get more praise, etc. And you're kind of in then, and then you're with the coaches and they're telling you what to do and how to kind of get faster, and it really works. But at some stage I stopped and other things became more important, whether it was career, whether it's football, whether it's rugby. It just, life gets in the way, and I guess this is most people's story, that they get to a certain point in the late 20s, early 30s, whatever. You might be 30s, 40s, 50s, it doesn't matter. You decide that you want to make a change in your life, and you want to insert running because that will give you, add muscle to your body, add muscle to your legs, add kind of an improved cardiovascular system, which is so important. Whether you're trying to avoid a heart attack or whether you're just trying to optimize your life, it's so important. So I got into a career, loved my career, what I was doing. It was very similar to sport when I look back, and that's why it resonated so much. But at some point or another, the market crashed. 2008, the market crashed, and I went cycle touring in Southeast Asia. So literally my life, for what I thought was going to be 6 weeks, ended up being 12 months. Was waking up and cycling as far as I possibly could to find the next hostel or hotel or tea house or wherever, temple, to sleep, and then do exactly the same the next day. And what happens when you spend a lot of time on your own, and especially when you spend a lot of time on your own doing something like a self-pursuit like that, you don't realize it. I certainly didn't realize it at the time, but you're basically on kind of a soul-searching mission. And what you begin to ask yourself is you have all sorts of conversations with yourself, but you begin to ask yourself the same questions, and then you get initially different answers, and then you begin to get the same answer. And it's kind of spiritual growth. It is a spiritual growth. It's not kind of. It is spiritual growth. And the question that is relevant to this is, I was asking myself, what am I doing, and is what I'm doing what I want to do, or is there something else? Does what I do make me happy? That kind of question. And the answer to that was, I love what I do, but it's not my passion. It's not what most makes me tick. What most makes me tick was when I was running back at school, when I was competing, when I was doing really well, and when I was kind of like able to push myself to the limits to try to get as fast as I possibly could, to go as far as I possibly could with my running journey. That's what made me tick the most. And so what I decided in the final days of my cycle touring was, when I get back to my base, which was in the south of Thailand or middle Thailand, I'm going to start running. And I went out for a run, and like anybody who would be kind of, okay, I'm going to go for a run, I just thought I'll go out for an hour run, and that'll be easy because I've got loads of cycling fitness. I've been playing rugby recently, and I'm playing football, and I went out for a run. I thought I was going to be running for an hour, and I ran for about 400 meters, and then I had to stop, and I was literally, none of the cycling fitness had translated to running fitness, and my muscles were not ready to run. They were not running muscles, they were cycling muscles, and there's obviously a difference. And so that needed to be, didn't know how to pace it. I went out too fast, obviously, got out of breath, and I could have slowed down, stopped, walked, gone again, etc. But I had no clue. But there was a fire literally ignited in me and I thought, I'm going to be good at this. And the progression curve is going to be quick, because I know that I know that I can run. I know that everybody can run, and everybody can get better, and everybody can get faster, and I really believe that everybody on the planet is capable of running a sub 3.5 hour marathon. No problem at all. It's just a case of discipline and your determination to get there. So I had all this discipline and determination that I just wanted to. So I went on the internet, and I was like, okay, it's not going to be a marathon, but it's going to be 5K initially. And how do I get to 5K? I need to break up the 5K. I need to be able to run for 200 meters. I need to be able to run for 400 meters. I need to be able to run for 1 kilometer. I need to be able to run for 20 minutes. I need to be able to run for 25 minutes. What is my goal then going to be for the 5K? If I'm going to do a time trial, what's that going to be? And this, I trained, and I did the faster sessions. I realized that I needed some intervals, some speed to work on my speed. I also realized that I needed to do a weekend long run. So that very quickly was inserted, because you can put anything into Google about a training program, and that's what it's going to give you if you want to run a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, a marathon, it doesn't matter. And that's what I started to do, and gradually my long run got longer, so I built my endurance, and my intervals got faster, and I naturally got faster. I made all the mistakes, I got injured, I had to stop for a week, those kind of things, but you don't need to make those mistakes, because somebody's already made them for you. I felt as if, this is 2009, I'm in Thailand, I'm kind of like Googling stuff that's quite rudimentary on the internet and then figuring stuff out for myself. Then when I got back to Manchester, I joined a park run. I did my first park run in pretty quick. For when I look back, to start off with, it was 18 minutes 30 seconds. But then within 3 weeks, because then I knew what it was like to race and to go out too fast and to get to 3K and be absolutely exhausted, within 3 weeks that had got to 16:30. So that's kind of averaging 3 minutes and 30 seconds per kilometer. And then I did a 10K, and then I messed up the 10K, and I ran. After 3K I had to stop and walk. After 5K I had to stop and walk. I stopped and walked maybe another 2 times. I got to finish in 39 minutes and 50 seconds. And I thought I was exhausted, I'd messed it up. I thought I was capable of running maybe about 35, 36 minutes, but it was a failure, and it taught me so much. And one of the key take-homes was, not only had I for the last 5 months been training, and it took me, this was May 2010, sorry. I started running in January 3rd, 2010. This failure, what it had done is it taken me to, in Manchester, the finish line was, I was surrounded by runners who were all talking, and everybody was high on adrenaline, endorphins, serotonin, whatever, and everybody was like, what was your time? How did you do? How did you feel? What's your next race? Who do you run for? Do you want to run for a club? All these different things. And all these conversations were taking place exactly like right next to all the bars that I used to go to and meet people, and just have a lot of acquaintances in my life that were sort of like, hey, how you doing? How's your job going? Yeah, okay, you're an estate agent, you're a lawyer, you're a this, and there was no depth to those friendships or acquaintances, whatever. So they were acquaintances. At the time I thought they were friendships, and they were always to do with drink or partying, and so what I kind of what struck was, these are my people. These guys are all trying to better themselves. They're all trying to get better, and I really love being around people. Anybody who's trying to get better at something. I met somebody the other day who made a YouTube channel, and he's making trumpet lessons to people and teaching them through the motions. The passion he had for that was, you could see it in his eyes. And if you ask somebody what their passion is, and they tell you genuinely what their passion is, you'll see this spark in their eye. And that's what I feel about running, and that it was already reigniting. It was always I was obsessed with getting better, but that just took it to a different level. And then after that, I aimed for an ultra run, and the rest is history. But if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way, and you have all the information available on the internet. Hopefully these videos are really useful to you, and you can make serious gains and really shock yourself in a short period of time. So just keep going.